I want to go on the air in a minute. So just big Y, but have it unlocked and be ready to push in for the start of the game. You have to be smooth now. You can't jerk around, okay? Understand? Right.
Sophomore, number 1.
I'm going to go on the air.
Michelle Bodart, sophomore, number 4. Jamie Neiman, sophomore, number 14. Kendall Hurston, sophomore, number 11. Olivia Brown, sophomore, number 12. Reed Richardson, sophomore, number 17. And Mallory Ashcroft, freshman, number 5. Head coach is Chris Martin. Assistant coach, Michael Gifford. For Skyline, we have number 0, Sydney Martinez, goalkeeper. Number 1, Emily Barrel, grade 11, goalkeeper. Number 2, Kelly Sullivan.
And this is an audio check for the internet. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Number 3, Izzy Marshall, sophomore, forward. Number 4, Abby Porter, sophomore, defender. Number 5, Mackenzie Ware, junior, midfielder. Number 6, Aaron Schlosser, junior, midfielder. Number 7, Anna DeWeert, senior, forward. Number 8, Lauren Carson, sophomore, midfielder. Number 9, Gabby Adams.
And for all of you watching online, we're just standing by for the start of our first of our soccer doubleheader tonight from Issaquah, Washington. It'll be Skyline of Issaquah hosting Westview from Oregon. We'll begin the broadcast momentarily. Thanks for stopping in with us on Friday night.
Number 12, Aisha Gable, junior, midfielder. Number 13, Emma Elder, junior, midfielder. Number 14, Rachel Shim, senior, forward. Number 15, Jordan Branch, junior, midfielder. Number 16, Bianca Saint, junior, midfielder. Number 17, Abby Litka, junior, midfielder. Number 20, Brooke Bofto, junior, midfielder. And 21, Brooke Holland, junior, midfielder. Head coach is Don Raymond, and assistant coaches Evan Day, Andrew Brownston, Chris Santos, and Jeff Cock. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's play some soccer.
And good afternoon from Gary Moore Stadium in Issaquah, Washington. The OSA Network and the WIAA Network are proud to present special coverage of the Washington, Oregon Girls Soccer Showcase. The Westview Wildcats of Beaverton taking on the Skyline Spartans from right here in Issaquah. This is Bob Akamian. Happy weekend to you from the great Northwest. More beautiful summer weather. In fact, maybe a mite too beautiful. It is 83 degrees as we get ready for the first touch in this showdown, an early season showdown of 4 of the great teams in the state of Washington and Oregon. Later tonight, we'll have coverage of Issaquah against Tualatin in another great Oregon-Washington matchup. But for now, we get a young and reloading Westview team in their season opener against the Skyline team that has already played twice this week. And the Kingco, they get to it early. And so Skyline obviously has a little bit under their belt and are ready to roll. Skyline, of course, coming off a great run a year ago in the postseason in the 4A ranks, beating Bellarmine 1-0 in the championship match, a match you saw on the WIAA network at Spark Stadium in Puyallup. And Skyline with a tremendous run, having to beat Tahoma and really clamping down defensively. Now Skyline is reloading, if you will, with their back end right now. We're going to see some new junior goalkeepers trading off. Sydney Martinez is getting a start, and Emily Barrow will play in the second half. So we'll see a lot of faces for Skyline in this game. Westview kind of has an idea of how they want to play, and they're going to be trying some different combinations. Both these teams, again, in a very busy week here Skyline playing twice in the next 2 days as we have our first touch, and we are underway at Issaquah. The ball goes into touch almost immediately. Westview is in the red. They're the visitors in the white shorts. Skyline in the all-white. We'll set the lineups here as we go, as the first throw-in is coming for Westview from the near side. That is Jamie Neiman, part of the back line. Also on defense for Westview, Paige LaFlame and Riley Fisk in the midfield. Erica Cook is the holder of the midfield. Laura Camp, Jaden McMillan will both take turns trying to push the offense from the midfield. They'll also be taking a lot of the set pieces. They're both juniors. Marissa Reed is in the midfield, as well as Renee Bodart, who is a sophomore. And you're going to see a lot of the outstanding freshman, Mallory Ashcraft. We'll note when she gets into the game here, and they really think she's got some possibility as a creator and a scorer. And then on defense, as we mentioned, Paige LaFlame. Up front, it'll be Rachel Wallace and Matt Kearney, both juniors, playing in the front row. And starting in goal tonight will be Rachel Lusby, the sophomore. She may be relieved by Lizzie Coriel, or she may play the entire game. Chris Martin, in his 10th season with Westview, still making some of those decisions. Skyview, they're going to play everybody tonight. There's 20 players dressed, and they're going to play 19 of them in this game. We talked about switching the keepers as the first ball is sent deep into the attacking end for Skyline, but Westview will clear it out. Sydney Martinez is the starter in goal. Key returning players are up front and in the midfield as we see a Westview Skyline attack. DeWirt turns the corner and is wide over the top of the net. That's Anna DeWirt, one of the three captains, a senior, playing out of the midfield. You can see where she's going to attack from the right side. Kelly Sullivan getting the start in the midfield. She'll be center mid. DeWirt, as we said, one of the captains. Lauren Carson, center mid. Leanna Sims, also one of the co-captains, center mid. She's the true left footer on this team, so you'll see her working from the left and maybe taking some set pieces. Rachel Shim, the other captain, is up front. Jordan Branch starting in the back, but they'll rotate her up into the midfield. Abby Litka is the left back. Brooke Bofto is the holding midfielder, and the center back is Brooke Holland. And so far it has been all Skyline, although they really haven't gotten into the final third, haven't gotten any quality touches in the box yet. They had the one attack from the outside. So we're just underway. 3 minutes into the first half, and again on a very warm night. A little bit of a north wind, although at Issaquah, since we're behind the school building here, the wind really doesn't translate to the field. We're expected to cool off rather nicely in the evening, but this game's going to be played under some pretty warm temperatures, and that alone is a little bit daunting for these young people at the beginning of the year, and you're probably going to see a little bit of cramping. We've already had one game played in this 6-game tournament this afternoon. Tualatin, who we'll see in our second game tonight with an impressive 2-0 win over Bellarmine in the opener. And, of course, Tualatin, as usual, will be all over Oregon State Championship picture. We'll talk more about them later on. So Tualatin playing 3 times, as will Westview in this tournament. Westview will play twice tomorrow against both Bellarmine and Issaquah. Westview trying to get something going forward, but that ball comes a little too through, but knocked back into play by McMillan. Jaden McMillan trying to get something started. Takeaway already for Skyline. So Skyline slowly building from the back, trying to get started on the outside. That's Shim. Shim battling in the touch, and she will get the throw-in. As you can tell with the sun behind us here, a little hard early on for you to see all the numbers at home, so we'll try to keep straight who's doing what, but we can tell you that is Skyline of the white, moving left to right, and a nice throw-in by Shin gets things started in deep. That's Johnston. Johnston to the middle. It's cut off. 2 defenders there, but the possession held by Skyline. Another settling ball by DeWirt into too much traffic, and it'll be punched out by Westview. Let's see if they can counter and get something going. That's junior Matt Kearney working the right side, 1 foot forward. Deflected by Wallace, and it'll stay, though, in touch to Westview. So that was a good change of field there. Matt Kearney, the junior, got things started from the back. Here comes the throw-in now, and this will be the best setup so far for Westview in the attacking end. 5 minutes in now, and no score between Westview and Skyline. Again, season opener for the Wildcats, so they're pretty excited just to be playing a match tonight. Little ping pong in the midfield. Now Laura Camp, midfielder. One touch to McMillan. McMillan sends it back wide to the right. And this will be Kearney. Kearney beats one. Gets one touch through. Here's a chance. Nice and flat at the front, but the ball comes all the way through from Laura Camp. But Westview gets their first opportunity and had their attackers spread out very well. But the best angle was for Camp, so no doubts about that. And Westview's proven they can take a little poke into the defense. In the midfield, Westview trying to keep possession. Now a smart retreat by McMillan, and they'll change the field to the other side. So good patience there. LaFlame will get things started. LaFlame one touch up the right side. Now a scrap in the midfield, and again we see Sims, we called her number quite a bit early. That's one of the things that Don Brayman was talking about. He wants to see people getting involved, different combinations. I think particularly for Skyline, you'll see a lot of different combinations in this game, players playing different spots. He doesn't like to make his players at Skyline play too out of position from their clubs. So you kind of keep that continuity of contact, who you're looking for in the field, where you're playing on the field. So they're not afraid to change things at Skyline, including the alignment. And, they're kind of starting in a 3-5-2, but they may not stay that way even in this game, and certainly as the season goes along. So Skyline has found that flexibility goes a long way. And with that attack by Skyline, everybody will drop back, and Westview will get a chance to get things started again. Long clearing kick by the keeper, sent to the midfield. And a little miscommunication there as Reed cannot handle that ball, so a throw in for Skyline from the other end. So all these teams playing at least 2 matches this weekend, and for the Kingco teams, 5 games right away in the first week, and quite frankly, you're not going to see people running hard because you're trying to conserve a little energy. You're trying to find out a lot about your team right now. In Washington, these games do not affect your postseason at all. In Oregon, they do because of the OSAA's power rating system. It will affect your playoff bracketing. Doesn't mean a thing in Washington. So, for teams like Skyline and Issaquah, they'd go play the Sounders if they had an opportunity. Well, maybe not the Sounders, but you get the idea. But that is why these teams schedule so aggressively. And, of course, that's been the impetus of this tournament where Issaquah and Tualatin decided to get together a few years ago. And they played, both these schools came down, played games in Oregon. Good position on the attack, and then just a last-second defense. But Shim had something going there. And the ball is corralled by Lusby. And is that going to be a set? Yes, it is. Be our first set piece of the game. Lusby could not get to it. And we're going to have our first corner kick. And again, we could see anybody taking the set pieces in this game for Skyline. The ball is retrieved, and it looks like Sims is going to do a job, the senior, so logical choice there. Skyline is setting up high. They don't have anybody near or far. So if you're a Kingco team, and Newport, of course, being an early conference opponent here, you're very interested in how Skyline is taking set pieces. They're flooding everyone from the top. Good ball, right on goal, but right to the keeper. That ball really didn't have a chance in the air. Would have had if there was deflected. So Sims takes the first set piece. And we come the other way downfield. But Westview just hammers it down once with no bodies in play. Now they'll control it again in the midfield. And here's Erica Cook. Cook does a good job defensively, trying to start it forward, and there she goes. One touch through to McMillan. McMillan retreats, and it goes right to a white shirt, and then it's just dumped into the Westview end. So Skyline happy to control the midfield here. We are 10 minutes into the match. Of course, high school rules remaining the National Federation, 40 minutes per half. There will be no overtime in this tournament because there are so many games being played. Draws are just fine in the early season. Now a long ball set to the shady end and just saved for a deep throw-in for Westview. And so best opportunity so far for the Wildcats. The ball goes over the fence. And so Marissa Reed has to climb the fence twice. Good work. That's good conditioning exercise. Jump up over the fence. And here comes a big throw. So let's see what kind of a throw-in set Westview will do. They bring it in short to Wallace, and it's knocked right back out into touch. So Skyline is playing the short throw-in, and they've got a lot of bodies there. This is tight quarters for Westview to work in. Trying to keep the possession, and they do. Kept into play by Camp, but trying to go across the field. Skyline has it. That attack a little slow developing, and Skyline took advantage. Skyline's just able to put a lot of bodies there. Now a big collision at midfield. Saw Bodart there, the smaller player for Westview, but this will be a throw-in for Skyline. Again, later tonight, we'll have Issaquah and Tualatin, always a good one. And again, that was the genesis of this tournament, was Issaquah and Skyline traveling to Oregon a couple years ago and playing Lincoln and Tualatin. And so I got a nice little rivalry going with Issaquah and Tualatin, who have been Cadillac programs of these two states. Middle of the field. Westview starting to take a little more control now. Now we have a whistle, and we're going to go the other way. First bit of contact of the match. Carl Radecki from the East King County Officials Association is our man in the middle tonight. And here's our first free kick of the match, first foul. And Camp will send it away. Direct ball up to the midfield. And no chance for Bodart to do anything with it. And now the ball will roll through to the keeper. And Sidney Martinez will scoop it up. Again, the two goalkeepers for Skyline, Martinez and Barrow, both juniors, both going to play. Each have their strong points. Martinez pretty durable. Barrow more mobile. So they both have a chance to play a role. And as a lot of teams do, as a lot of college teams do, Don Brayman doesn't want to pick a keeper. He'd rather play him half and half through the other season and then pick one and stick with her, and the other one's available as a backup. That's very reminiscent of the Clive Charles way at the University of Portland, and certainly Garrett Smith has continued that. Portland's wonderfully successful women's program. Encourage competition, but then find that combination that works and stick with it, and that's been a real winner. And you've seen that trickling down extensively into the high school ranks. Throwing coming for Skyline. You can see, again, nobody's running really hard at the ball right now. We also have our first sub of the match. For Skyline, we expected a lot of people in this, and we see Kelly Sullivan coming out, which means somebody new is on, and we'll pluck that number out for you in a second as we reconnoiter everybody else. So we will have a lot of changes for Skyline in this game. Be prepared for that. A little trouble in the middle here, and Skyline not facing their own goal, having trouble clearing, and this will be a throw-in for Westview. So Skyline a little messy there. Oh, and it's going to be a Skyline throw-in anyway, so Westview gets no advantage from that. Still trying to pick out our new player in the match. We will ID her as soon as we know. Turnover. Westview trying to push it forward. There's McMillan, and that ball comes through. So Martinez getting a little work early on. She always like that. You know, when you're a good team, it's hard to have a dominant goalkeeper. The goalkeeper ends up being the quarterback, just directing the defense. Nearing the midway point of the first half. Skyline being deliberate. Westview now feeling a little more frisky offensively, although they're just not connecting with the second touch very well. We've seen Bodart being a little more active there, number one. She's on the ball right now trying to deny the clear, and she does not. It'll still be a throw-in for Skyline. DeWeert, one of those captains, will make the toss, and now confirmation from the referee in the field. Long service by Brooke Bofto. It's right to Amanda Johnston, but the defender was there. So that was pretty good ball to the top of the box. Westview will clear. And Skyline will just let it roll into touch on the far side. See the sun setting across from us here, so we got a little sun in our eyes for a bit here, probably most of the first half, and then we'll get shade on the field and should have a rather delightful evening. Ball goes into touch again. Skyline defending Washington 4A champions against Westview. Now we wait for the throw-in. Do we have another sub? No. Aaron Schlosser, number 6, was the new midfielder who came in for Sullivan. Sullivan's having a chat with Coach Brayman on the side. And Skyline, which had some looks early, really hasn't finished an attack in the last few minutes. Now they go to the weak side of the field. 1v1 there. And that is going to set up a corner opportunity. No help, really, from Marissa Reed, who stuck with it, but need a little bit of help. So here comes your second corner kick. For Skyline. This one's high into the box. Headed away, though, by the defense. And it'll go into touch for Skyline. We're at Gary Moore Stadium in Issaquah. It's a football Friday night. We have football here. Issaquah football is also on WIAA Network, coming up at 7 o'clock tonight from Mount Si. If you click over to our football page, you'll be able to find that game in a big early season 4A versus 3A match. And you'll get a look at Mount Si, a team we think is really capable of making some things happen this year in the 3A ranks. And they cannot wait to play Bellevue. I'll tell you how much they like their season. They can't wait to play Bellevue. So that's on the football side of WIAA Network. Handball in the air, and that'll go back to Skyline. A little eagerness there by Renee Bodart. Now the ball in the middle, top of the box. Skyline's done a good job getting the ball to the top of the box, but really hasn't been able to break through that back line. And Westview, to their credit, stayed pretty flat. Has not allowed any opportunities to move the ball forward. And now a throw-in coming for Westview. In the 19th minute of this match, no score. And now Westview will restart on the far side. That's Laura Camp about to put the ball into play. So a very tough opening stretch for Westview. Skyline, Issaquah, Bellarmine. All top Washington 4A teams a year ago. But, you know, Chris Martin said, you want to be good, you got to play these games. Westview plays in the league with two very good teams, Jesuit, of course, Oregon's perennial power in girls soccer, and Sunset, which had some personnel changes this year, but still considered pretty formidable. And Skyline just not very aggressive here in the first half. They've been content to win the midfield, but haven't put a lot together forward. And with that whistle, we go back the other way. Foul. Of course, we're going to see Tualatin later. Tualatin beat Sunset in last year's Oregon final, 1-0. Westview, Chris Martin advanced to the 2009 final and the 2008 finals and ran into two great teams, Jesuit and Lincoln. So Westview's had a couple of cracks at it in recent years. And now a deep throw-in coming. You know, in some cases, this is as good as a corner kick because you can target this a little bit more. Skyline throws it in short to Weird. Big collision in the middle. Boy, is Brooke Bofto hitting the deck for Skyline, and the foul is on Bofto. We go the other way. Ball in the midfield now. Now Westview trying to get something going, but not a lot of control. And Westview has this freshman in the game now. It's Mallory Ashcraft, number 5. See her very active out there and immediately gets in the middle of things. So forward right now, Westview's very young. Bodart, number 1, you see her. And Ashcraft, along with Reed Richardson, a sophomore. So this is kind of the future for Westview in the field right now. Up front between their attacking midfielder and the forwards. So we'll keep an eye on this group and see if Westview can make a little magic. We are now halfway through the first half. Still no score. It's great to have you along in the Washington, Oregon Showcase on WIAA Network and OSA TV. Bob Akamian from Moore Stadium in Issaquah on a gorgeous Friday night. A little bit of a knockabout there. Now we come forward with Westview. Nice delay. Richardson comes back to the middle. Left foot trying to get it to Ashcraft. Went to the wrong foot. Kept into play. McMillan. And Skyline clears it away. Well, there was a much better connection for Westview up top. And that ball is kept into play, but dumped deep into the other end. However, nowhere to go, and Holland did the right thing for Skyline, just boots it out into the touch. So another throw in, a little bit deeper. But we go back the other way. Now whistle another foul. We go the other way. So you can tell as the game goes along, everybody gets a little more confident in what they're doing. Now another chance for Westview. Bodart gets it forward into the box and just ahead of the charging Ashcraft. So Ashcraft and Bodart starting to communicate a little bit, and the best chance yet for Westview, but it is gobbled up by Martinez. And that comes in the 24th minute. Of course, Tualatin and Westview have shared the limelight in recent years. It was Westview beating Tualatin in 2010, then Westview falling to Grant, the team that almost upset Jesuit in that final. And then last year, it was Tualatin, of course, winning the championship. Westview lost to Sunset 1-0 in the semifinal. So that's how close it's all been. Now, full retreat for Westview. And Carson, or check that, that was Riley Fisk getting the ball to the keeper, but it's knocked into touch. And here's a chance for Skyline. Throw an opportunity, Aaron Schlosser. We'll get it back. Nope, stepping in front. There's the freshman, Ashcraft. Ashcraft starts it. Takes a bump. Who's going to get that? It'll still be Westview, and Ashcraft immediately goes forward. Says, all right, I'm in position. Get it ahead to me. And so up that left side right now, here's Bodart closer to the ball off the throw-in. Ashcraft has come forward. And Richardson, the long sophomore, will throw it in to the middle. Westview able to change the field. And they work it back to the right side. They've tried a lot of a left. Now they try to find some open space, but Skyline's midfield very adaptable. And Skyline immediately gets the takeaway. Defensively, Skyline's got the best of everything in the middle third. Now Skyline tries to get it going. That's Izzy Marshall in the game now, sophomore attacker. Marshall, number 10, double teamed. Far side. Reed is on her. Reed knocks it back up the touch line, all the way up to Ashcraft. Of course, the touch lines are hard to see because there is a American football field inside the lines for soccer, and that purple team box makes it a little more difficult to see the yellow line, which is the touch line on both sides of the field. So Westview's done a good job playing wide. They've had some good clearances right up that line. And Westview get the better of things here, in the middle at least of the first half, after being unable to get the ball out of their own end early. Here's Skyline now changing directions. DeWart. And it'll work back to the middle. Carson. And now it's knocked back the other way. Long run. Ashcraft, keeper out. Ashcraft has it. Defenders will have to get in the goal. Ashcraft centers it up. Richardson shot deflected away by a defender. Great help by the Skyline defense as 3 defenders get back into the goal mouth. Took away all the angles. But Ashcraft absolutely took the ball away from the keeper, kept it, and kept the attack in place. So Ashcraft showing what she can do, and the question's going to be for Westview, does she connect with the rest of her teammates? But she and Richardson certainly working well together, and a golden opportunity there. That's in the 28th minute. But we remain scoreless. Now Skyline has to kind of find itself offensively. They got a lot of new faces out there right now. And that was the plan. Don Brayman said, we will sub and sub often. Big collision there. Sullivan back in the game. Goes down running into Bodart. Bodart's proven herself to be pretty pesky. McMillan for Westview. Ball goes into touch and back to the Wildcats. It's the best of Oregon, the best of Washington at the Washington-Oregon Showcase. Issaquah High School. 2 great matches for you tonight. Later on, we'll have Issaquah and Tualatin, the 2 schools that kind of started this all. Long ball forward. Here's an opportunity for Skyline. That's Izzy Marshall. Marshall right side, short arms it, or short foots it, so to speak. Hockey, that'd be a short arm. Hoping to catch the keeper napping, but it does not. And it's put away. Good plan, though, on the breakaway, and Izzy Marshall, the sophomore, showing some nice quicks and nice on-ball work. So Skyline, you wouldn't quite expect that from a team like Skyline, but when you see the opportunity to play a little fast break soccer, that's fine. She had nobody else forward, too, but used her speed well. And they got her again up front. She's just lurking at that back line of the defense, and she's got that quick burst. Now Izzy will line up to the right. There's the ball coming forward. In the air, Marshall almost wins it. Keeps it in place. Sullivan deflected. Westview a little bunched up defensively. They need to change direction a little bit, and they don't. They come right in the middle of it. And Sims picks it up for Skyline. Sims long ball forward to the left, but that's too far. And a goal kick coming up from Westview, and this will give everybody a breather with 11 minutes left in the first half. Westview had to work very hard there in that sequence and really had too many players back in the defensive end with not necessarily nobody marking anyone in particular. So here comes the goal kick with the sun really in the eyes now of Skyline here on the near sideline. We're about to be in the most annoying time of the day for sun angle, and you'll notice that in our camera. That will change here in a bit. Izzy trying to get something going for Skyline. 1 touch forward. Knocked up in the air for Bodart. Bodart's got to get a star for this half. Quality she's had with the ball. And that, who's going to get that? That's almost a throw a coin for the throw-in. This is Alicia Gable, junior midfielder, throwing it in, number 12. They get it right in the box, the shot, and it's right to the keeper. Sullivan, nice stroke, put it a little higher, and she probably gets the goal. But she gets it inside the frame, but again, it's right at the keeper, and Lusby makes another save. So Lusby's done a good job standing her ground on the goal. And the ball comes out again to the midfield. So we're liking what we see so far. Skyline, of course, very measured. And then they're getting new people involved, which is what they want to do. And Westview showing like there's something there with those young players. So, again, great to see this stuff early in the year. These are teams that will still be playing into November. And this is where it all starts. Long ball at the touchline, but on the run for Westview, getting all the way back is Paige LaFlame, and she turns and puts it to the sideline. That was pretty good. She almost sent it all the way back up the touchline. Again, I know at this point it's very hard to see the numbers of the athletes. We can see them a little better here, so we'll try to keep track for you of who's touching the ball a little more specifically. That ball headed away for Westview by Bodart. And it goes into touch again, but this will be a Westview ball. Throw in and now punched forward. That was Jamie Neiman trying to start things from the back. Neiman keeps it in play for Westview, gets it in front for Ashcraft, but a little bit too far. Kept on offense, though, by McMillan. Now here's McMillan, Ashcraft, and Richardson working together. Richardson turns, gets it out a little too far in front of Ashcraft. Skyline defends for the moment, but still in play for Westview with Bodart. Richardson. Now across, that's Ashcraft. Ashcraft turns, she's got some options. Defender steps back a little bit. I've been stepping into it. Abby Litka, nice job. Knocks it into touch. Litka was not going to get burned by the youngster. They've already seen Ashcraft's action so far in this match. We're at the 33rd minute right now and still scoreless. Little bump in on the throw-in. Nobody else there. And Skyline try to clear it. There's Marshall in midfield. Matched up with Neiman. Neiman knocks it into touch, so it'll be a Skyline throw-in. And looks like subs. Skyline's going to get Carson out of the match. I did not see who came in. Or maybe Carson just came to the side to take some advice. There's a loose ball in front. Header knocked down. Mackenzie Ware. Ware puts it in front across the net. Shot in and out of the goal. Oh, that one just got to the line. And again, good help for the keeper in the net. Two good chances for Skyline. And they get nothing. And Lusby looks pretty cool out there. Getting her defense in to help her. Must be a little applause for the deed. And when they've had to, Westview's shut it down in the back. Now a throw-in coming as the ball again has escaped the main part of the field here at Issaquah. Brand new school built last year. About this time last year, they hadn't paved anything over there. You couldn't figure out how to park, and now it is an absolutely beautiful campus. There's the set piece, long ball, and over the net. So nothing there for Skyline. But this school now looks like a college campus, and of course in the beautiful woody hills south of Interstate 90. And of course the companion school Skyline playing tonight. A lot of subs coming in right now, by the way. Up on the plateau. DeWart comes back in, Shim back in, and Johnston back in. So now the regulars back after the youngsters get a chance on the attack. So let's see if the veterans can put together a better attack and get the ball in the net before the end of the first half for Skyline. Saw some good action by the younger attackers, but they really didn't put anything together. And the ball back into touch. Now here's an attack up the right side for Westview in the middle. Centering ball deflected away, but that was Richardson again. Pretty good ball on attack with a defender on her, and it sets up a corner. So first set piece, I believe, for Westview, at least first one in the attacking end. And as we expected, Jaden McMillan will take it. She and Camp should do all of this. And this will not be a corner. This will be. She had the ball up, but now she does set get for the corner, and now they will switch up. And Camp will take it. They go short. Camp gets it right back, turns. Nothing. Kept in the play, though, but boomed in a little too far by LaFlame. And a free kick coming with 4 minutes left in the half. Remember, time will be kept on the field. The final 2 minutes of the half. We're using the scoreboard Clark through then. And you can see that shadow line starting to work its way across. And once we get the sun down here, which will probably be by the start of the second half, we'll all be able to see a little better. Skyline again with the veterans back up front, but they just dump it in. Again, I think we'd like to see a little more organized attack out of Skyline. Westview will take their time clearing the ball. Comes to the middle. One in the air by Skyline. But goes into touch for Westview. Westview Wildcats, the newest of the Beaverton School District schools, which of course are outstanding athletics, the Metro League in Oregon, arguably the most competitive at almost every level. Skyline having to retreat, and this sets Westview up even a little better. And you've heard the names over the years: Westview, Jesuit, Sunset, Southridge. I take that back about Westview. Southridge is the newest school, opening in 1999. Aloha, which of course has risen back to fame in football. And there's just not a night off in the Metro League in any sport. Soccer, basketball, great girls basketball league. Nice little turn and burn by Richardson, but it comes right to the keeper. And we're down to 2:25 in the half. Westview new athletic director this year, Rob Castile, coming out of the teaching ranks and very enthusiastic, making people happy there already. There's a big tumble as the two 14s come together. Neiman for Westview and Shem. And Skyline getting right back to it with the throw in, trying to organize something offensively. And now we go to the final 2 minutes, so time is being kept on the field. Westview with the takeaway, pushing it the other way. Erica Cook. Here we come forward, and there's Richardson again on the run. Ashcraft fell in the middle. Richardson all by herself, though. She's got to get some angle, and she doesn't. Run off the ball, and now no room to clear it. And Richardson wanting a little help as we come to the goal kick. Richardson felt like she was being ridden on just a little bit. I think that was Bofto who was on her back. But we play on. Had a clean game so far. And our man in the middle, Carl Radecki's. Let him play. You know, it's early in the year. Everybody's got to shake the kinks out. We've had some inadvertent collisions, and sometimes it's good night to have whistles. So we're waiting for the referee's clue here for the end of the first half. Skyline can't clear it. And now Westview just dumps it to the other end. And that'll be a goal kick. Ball's loose in the middle. Skyline trying to get it forward. There's some space. Trying to push it to the middle is Abby Porter, but didn't have an angle. The defender rode her off it. And that'll be a goal kick. Oh, surprisingly. Looked like the defender might have done it. That was Abby Porter, a sophomore, coming out of the back. And with that, we come to the end of the first half. So good first start for the Westview Wildcats on the road up at Issaquah. They are even with Washington's 4A champions. Halftime at the Washington-Oregon Showcase. Westview nothing, Skyline nothing. We're going to step away and be back with second half action coming up on the WIAA network.
Today at 7 o'clock we have Issaquah versus Tualatin.
And we're set to go with the second half of action from Gary Moore Stadium in Issaquah. Westview of Beaverton, Oregon, with a 0-0 draw right now against the Skyline Spartans. Bob Akamian with you on the WIAA Network. Thanks for joining us for soccer. I know we're right in the middle of football season. I know everyone's fired up for that, but this is some excellent preseason girls soccer for the best teams in Oregon and Washington together, and this is a real treat to see all this early in the season. Teams are going to be around playing in November, and remember the WIAA Network. Here's where you'll see the Final Four from Puyallup, and OSA.TV is where you'll see the Oregon Championship matches all coming your way in November. So Skyline will now move right to left as we see it. They are in the white. Again, we've got quite a bit of sun coming behind us here. The sun is just about setting behind the ridge that is off to the west. And the second half is underway. Westview Skyline scoreless in the Washington-Oregon Girls Showcase. Skyline dominated early, but Westview then got some opportunities and made things a little interesting with their youngsters. And both teams look like they're going back pretty much to their original lineups to start the second half. Westview got things going with Mallory Ashcraft combining with Reed Richardson, the sophomore. And there's a big shot by Skyline and another good stop defensively by Rachel Lusby, who's had an excellent half in the goal. And I say that, and that's Lizzie Coryell. Looks like she's come on now to play the second half. So let's see if both teams have switched keepers, and they have. Skyline, as expected, goes to Emily Barrel, the other junior goalkeeper. Martinez had a fairly uneventful first half. Barrel, really, I tell you, watch warm-ups. Barrel's really active, and we'll see how good she is. You know, the real test of the keeper is who's directing traffic, how are you moving your defense around, and then how do you react in clearing opportunities. So let's see what Barrel can do as a clearer, so to speak. We have a foul at midfield. Westview puts it back into play. In this regular season, early season tournament, there will be no overtime played should we end even. Both these teams playing multiple games this weekend. Here's a long run for Skyline on the attack. Jordan Branch. Branch, as we were told, started in the back and is now playing up in the midfield, and they're going to let her range with the ball a little bit. Now on the left touch line, Amanda Johnston, sophomore forward, has slid over. She's playing a little touch and go with Leanna Sims. Ball back in the middle, retrieved by Bofto. And then changes direction, and there's nobody there. So trying to do something quickly, but didn't quite have her teammate in place. Later tonight, Issaquah Tualatin, another treat for you as we start the season. It is also Tualatin's season opener. And, of course, that's Oregon State champs, and they're playing without the great Anna Maria Pompma, graduating with her 100-goal career, which is just amazing on any number of levels. You think of players that are real goal scorers in high school, because obviously when you're playing a lesser opponent, you get all kinds of junk defense, and it's very hard to do your thing. And in quality play, you're probably sharing the ball, and you're not going to score a lot. So to score 100 goals on a quality side says an awful lot. And I think of Tiffany Milbrett having just gotten to see the end of her high school career at Hillsboro in Oregon. And Hillsboro was not a good team at the time. And watching Tiffany Milbrett just do her thing, weaving between defenders. And remember a match where she scored 6 goals in one match. And it was just like her and 21 other people on the field. And she was just weaving between everyone. But it's very unusual to have that dominant goal scorer who also shares. You know, when you see the 10-goal, 12-assist kid, that's what gets you really excited. And we will see that in our second game. In fact, we got a couple of outstanding players who are both in that category. And so stick around for that, 7:30 tonight. Ball through the keeper box and almost deflected in. That was handed to Weird on the far side. And good-looking ball, and DeWeert stepping through at the last second, avoiding the offside, but not quite able to redirect the ball inside the frame. 5 minutes into the second half. This sets up a corner, by the way. And it is Sims taking the set piece. Sims in the shade, and she'll be putting the ball. This is tough for the defenders because, boy, the sun right in their eyes here. And, frankly, I'd go short here. Make the defenders keep looking at the sun, but everyone's coming, flooding from the high side. That ball comes high in the air, headed once, and then put up in the air, and still way too much in front of the net. They got to get it out of the box, and they finally do. And Skyline kind of stood there and let that all happen. That ball was way too close to the net, and the keeper didn't have a lot of opportunity with it, but no harm done. So Westview continues to deny everything in the back. In the middle now, Westview trying to get something started. And they don't have Richardson in the game or Ashcraft. Here's the attack. Ball right into the gut of the defender, Fisk. Still in play in the box. Fisk having to fight for it. She may have to just put this in the touch, and she does. See, that's smart right there. Your momentum's carrying you this way. If you try to turn too much with your body, you run a chance of whiffing the ball and just leaving it in the box for somebody wide. And so, much better judgment there by Fisk. And then someone who can't turn on the ball there, that was Litka. And they give it right back. So Litka falls victim to the same thing, trying to do too much with your body. Thrown out of the back. It's not going to go far. Kelly Sullivan knocks it down for Skyline, but scooped up for Westview. Olivia Brown, sophomore, number 12 in the game. And then a foul forward, and we'll come right back the other way. Mentioned that we're going to see 19 Skyline players play. They even have more than that. They've got, looks like 2, 4, 6, 7 JV players dressed and on the bench. Now, they're not going to play. They're in those green uniforms. But Don Brayman loves the continuity and wants his top JVs to be there and kind of get that taste of being on the bench. Long ball sent in, so not much comes out of that. Again, just not a lot of patience by Skyline in the final third. Really have not had a lot of quality, and that was a great example of it. And that ball into touch, and here's a chance for Westview. Going out to retrieve, Marissa Reed. See who Reed throws it into. She's got Camp right there, but she's going to throw it deeper into the penalty area. Put up in the air. There's a chance for Bodart. She can't get to it, though. And then the ball comes out long and just boomed over the net. They're trying to pound it back in, as so often happens. Brown just gets under the ball. And Skyline will get the goal kick, and it's happened before. Everybody walks their way back down. We're still playing in 80-degree heat. Although when that sun goes down, things get cool here very quickly, being in the trees. A little wind starts blowing out of the north, and by the time our second game gets going, it'll be much cooler at 7:30 tonight. Already had one game played this afternoon. Tualatin defeating Bellarmine 2-0. Great start for the Timberwolves. They'll play their first second game. Again, coming up against Issaquah, so that'll be a slightly tired team, but Tualatin very deep, a lot of quality. So that should be a very good matchup. And tomorrow, Tualatin plays Skyline, and Issaquah plays Westview. And Bellarmine playing Issaquah, Bellarmine playing the Oregon schools, and then Bellarmine, the Oregon schools play each other. They had to play an extra game in there to get to 6. Another foul call in the midfield, so Westview getting a little anxious and giving Skyline a chance to reset. Now we see those shadows starting to come across the field, so sun will disappear soon. There's a good ball into the box, header in, and it's an own goal for Skyline. Goal went in off the Westview defender, and it should be credited to Amanda Johnston. She was closest to it. That comes in the 50th minute.
That's a point for Skyline, number 11, Amanda Johnson.
And Johnson does get credited for the goal in the 50th minute. But it was the service, and again, a good ball by Sims, who dropped it in the right spot, and the defense unable to handle it. So Johnston makes it 1-0, and that's a big break for Skyline. And I think kind of opens the door up a little bit here. Westview has to be very careful how they react to this, because you can get a little too aggressive trying to get it back and get sloppy. And Skyline is always a team that makes you pay for mistakes like that. Foul against Skyline. And then in the same boat, Skyline, I think, still wants to push and get a quality attack. Their final third has not been great in this match. So plenty of work to do. And, of course, this is what, Don Brayman said this is all about, playing a lot of matches early, figure out your rotation, figure out who's going to play in the middle. And he's playing a lot of bodies tonight and getting a lot out of that. Westview. Stuck on the ball. Now we get a whistle. And the foul is against Skyline, and here's the restart for Westview with Jaden McMillan. Taking her time, you can see everybody's flooded on the left side. Nobody in the box, or just on the edges of the box, so we'll see how involved this play is here. Skyline not where sure to put the bodies. The restart comes right to the middle. Nobody really ran to the ball, but it's kept back in. Jaden, good second chance, and now they won't allow the clear, except they do. Skyline pushes it forward. Abby Porter started it. She stepped right through, took that ball, and got it forward to Johnston. Here's Johnston again in the middle. Chance from the right, and the shot is just wide as Mackenzie Ware left her feet. But, boy, that all started with Abby Porter picking up that loose ball and just running between the red shirts, pushing it up, seeing Johnston, and a nice counter by Skyline there almost resulted in a second goal. 53rd minute, 1-0 Skyline. And see, this is what we talked about. There's another loose ball and another chance for Skyline. This time, defender for Westview will take it over the line, but this will set up a corner. And it's Fisk again who makes these good decisions, gets the ball into touch, and doesn't try anything she can't do with the ball. Here comes the corner. First time from this corner. Well struck in front. Header just over the goal. Good service by Lauren Carlson. And now it looks like some subs coming for Skyline, at least one. And there's Emma Elder, the junior midfield, coming in for Brooke Bofto. And a goal kick coming for Westview and Lizzie Coriel. Right up the middle and knocked back in with the header. Johnston heads it forward. Very nice. Sets up to Weird. With the keeper out. Puts it high and over the net. Weird hesitated just enough. And that got Coriel out of the net. But then she couldn't flatten the ball out. See the shadow starting to cross the field now in the final third for Skyline, and they have the ball right there in the shadow. Who's going to come out of it? Skyline combining much better here in the second half. I'm sure there was some discussion on keeping it simple, and small balls have really worked out better. Skyline quickly gets 3 back defensively. And that'll set up a throw-in. And once again, here's Bodart, who was good in the first half. Good piece of connective tissue, if you will, in the attack. And there's the freshman, Ashcraft. Has come on. Number 5 is up front. Bodart loses control, though. We start the other way. Kept in touch and still in play. Ball deflects back in, almost a handball. But Fisk comes across. Skyline gets the ball through with Johnston. 2 defenders there. Oh, and down in the box. No flag up. That was very close. Mackenzie Ware down in the box after some good setup by Johnston. Put it just on her foot. Ware goes down. Skyline comes right back. This time to the right side. Bodies collide again. Still a Skyline ball. Skyline pushing hard. And a goal kick coming up for Westview. And now we have the official having a word. Is that a yellow? No, maybe just a warning. Little discussion with Mackenzie Ware. I think Mackenzie Ware questioning, should we not be taking a PK right now? Pretty hard to tell the way the defender was marking her from this distance. There's an argument that her own momentum might have taken her down. In any case, we're playing on. Here's a chance from out in the corner. It's DeWeert. DeWeert sends it in. A cross-header try. Just too high for Johnston. And it'll roll into a throw-in for Westview. Well, DeWeert had a great idea there. That ball was just a little too tall for Amanda Johnston. But now the key people are starting to really work together for Skyline. We see Johnston, Sims, DeWeert. Haven't seen Shim involved here as much. In the second half, I believe she's out of the match right now. She's obviously a pretty important figure as well. And now Westview's having trouble getting the ball out of their own end. Here's Skyline again. There's a nice centering ball. Shot is deflected. Good time for Neiman to be there, but they cannot clear it. Ball sent in through, and that'll bounce harmlessly to the keeper as Elder put a foot on it. But now you see how much of the possession is taking place in the final third for Skyline. And they're on the big push for a second goal that would almost certainly be the difference maker. Skyline already a win and a draw this year. Beat Liberty 2-1. Drew with Seattle Prep. But I think still relevant. You put 4 goals in the net in your first 2 games of the season because, you know, you always assume you're going to score eventually if you've got talent, but you really need to kind of prove it to yourself. And I think that's really good the way Skyline and Issaquah both came out of the box and scored goals, proven what they can do offensively. Now another goal kick coming nearing the midway point of the second half, 1-0 for Skyline. Johnston given credit for an own goal by Westview. Whistle, stop, we go back the other way. Now play slightly more physical here in the second half. And the officials rise to the occasion and trying to keep things from getting out of hand. So this is a well-called match. First for very little calls, and now just kind of keeping the pace the way it should be. And, you know, again, quality teams like this, they're going to play that way. You're not going to see a lot of out-of-control play. You'll see that in our next game, too. Issaquah and Tualatin will be the same way. And now we get a substitution, several subs. Izzy Marshall, Sullivan's coming back in, and Litka will come back in. And out of the match, Schlosser and Lauren Carson, and somebody else came out. Oh, Johnston came out. So shuffle of the deck again for Skyline. Westview up front. Boy, Ashcraft really in attacking mode right now. They really just have one at the top, and then they're level coming forward with 3 other players. Here's Ashcraft. Ashcraft with the fender. She's got some room with her right and takes a long ball. That was a little too far. I don't think she quite knew where she was in the field taking that ball, but she went to the proper side where she had a lot of room to work with her right. And we are in the 60th minute, so 20 minutes and change remaining in the match. 1-0 in favor of Skyline. And the ball's allowed to roll through again. I guess say Westview looks a little more tired out there right now. They've used fewer bodies. They've made changes up front. Skyline's played a lot of people. So in this heat, that's certainly going to favor Skyline at the end of the match. Litka sends it forward. Ball in the middle. Now there's some room to work for Skyline. Everyone's got to be on the same page. Ware scraps for it. Ware has it, loses it. DeWeert nowhere to go. There's some space on the left. Litka hesitates, trying to beat Ashcraft, the defender. She does. Turns her, will be able to come in from the left. Chips it, still has possession. In the box, centers it up, and deflected out. Well, Ashcraft needed a little help there, and Litka beat her once and put the ball in the position to keep working. Now we go the other way with Richardson. Richardson and Ashcraft good together in the first half, but this one sent too far. And Bianca Saint will track it down deep in the other end and send it up the touchline. Up the right side, and here's Skyline back in business in the midfield. Emma Elder loses it. Right back to Westview, slow-mo attack, and when the ball's finally away, it's a little shanker for Bodart, and it'll be a goal kick. That play was a little slow development. Kearney had a good idea, but by the time Bedard had the ball, she didn't have any momentum. More subs. Alicia Gable coming on now for Skyline. And Porter coming out. See more shade coming across the field here. Lighting will all change here very abruptly in a few minutes. And you can already feel a little bit of that evening breeze as temperatures dropping before the sun even gets down. Westview throwing now. It's Allison Messenger, the senior. Ball's knocked right back into touch, and she'll throw it again. And this time in a much better spot. Let's see if they'll try to throw it in the box. We haven't seen Messenger throw in until now. And she plays it simple, brings it in short, trying to get it back. But Camp can't quite control it. And here we go with Izzy Marshall. Marshall gets it started. Here's Skyline. Skyline, 2 forward and 2 in the middle. A lot of options here. There it is, left side, through ball, and it scores. Well, why bother when you got everybody? You got everybody there, and Jordan Branch says, I've got this.
Another point for Skyline, number 15, Jordan Branch.
In the 74th minute, Branch all by herself, and she did a good job changing the pace. You saw her change her feet. And that kind of froze a few defenders. And she puts it in herself to make it 2-0. And that is probably the heartbreaker for Westview. And now you'll see this game really slow down. We'll see if Westview tries to muster some full-out attack here. They've still got about 15 minutes, so we'll see how sharp everybody is. See if the youngsters can do together. I think again, that combination of Bodart, Richardson, and Ashcraft's kind of interesting. Let's see what they can do. But all the scoring at the south end of the field here. Coming in the second half. It was scoreless at halftime. Johnston gets credit for an own goal in the 50th minute, and then Branch in the 74th. And that's where we are. And here comes Skyline again attacking, turning the corner. DeWeert. Body on. Oh, they called DeWeert for that. Called DeWeert for pushing. And the Skyline fans not too excited about that. Thought DeWeert was doing a good job turning the corner there, and I don't know, I did not see where her hand was, but didn't appear she was pushing in that manner. You know, usually when you've made the turn, you're kind of given the benefit for having made the move. But we play on, and Skyline has the ball right back. So this will be the third consecutive match. Skyline has scored 2 goals, which is, again, an excellent way to start the season. Get your offense on track. Ball gets turned over. Here's Izzy Marshall. 3v3 right now. Some opportunities. Puts it to the far side. And Ware had already made her run to the middle. With 15 minutes left in the match, 2-0 in favor of Skyline. See that last blast of sun just at the top of the screen. Once we get that off, things will be much easier. There you see in the shade, a little easier to see what's going on at the south end of the field. Skyline continues to attack, so Skyline is absolutely dominated now the second half after the first 5 minutes. Good service to the middle, and Gable trying to get low with a header opportunity, but a throw-in still coming up. And now we're going to have another sub for Skyline. Lauren Carson comes back on. Perhaps one last shift. And she'll replace Jordan Branch, who scored that goal. More action in front of the Westview net. Skyline keeping it in play. Izzy turns, worm burner right to the keeper. Don't forget to come back with us, 7:30 Pacific time, if you're watching us live on Friday, September 7th, for Issaquah and Tualatin. Skyline representing for the Kingco early. And, of course, you can watch this game and that game anytime, archived at WIANetwork.com. And copies of this game are available for purchase at prepfilms.com. All of our WIA and OSA events. If you see it on these internet channels, you can buy a copy of the game anytime at prepfilms.com. Now, Skyline now completely in charge. And again, I think Westview a little fatigued at the moment. Sun is off the field, but still in our eyes a little bit. Issaquah now on the sideline, getting ready for the next match. They will be the home team against Tualatin. Again, Tualatin's already played this afternoon. They played in the heat of the afternoon against Bellarmine and beat them 2-0. And they chose to go back to the hotel, get a little rest rather than doing any scouting. Another sub for Skyline, and Johnston's going to come back in for one more shift. With DeWeert coming out, we're down inside of 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Skyline again sends it forward. If you were keeping a possession clock, possession timer at ends of the field, this whole second half, Westview's barely had any kind of an attack, and I don't think they've gone to the final third. Skyline will retreat. Abby Litka gets things going the other way, sends it across, but into touch as Gable can't quite get to it. Gable, a junior, strength, speed, and we've seen her nearly work her magic in the air. She certainly has that, you say nose for the ball. It's really the head for the ball when you're going to be able to use your head to redirect, and she was willing to go low there around the box. Not quite Abby Wambach style, but that's fairly inhuman the way she plays. As much as you think about that, and watching Abby Wambach the last couple of years in the Olympics and the Cup, compared to Michelle Akers, who is arguably the most physical player, best physical player, I should say, in USA women's history, I got to go with Abby Wambach now because of her ability to create the scoring opportunity and the things she does offensively. Michelle Akers was a great team player, but I don't know if there's been anyone better than Wambach. I mean, talk about being entertaining to watch, physical, aggressive, and then time after time the plays she makes. Here's a ball forward and on the run for Skyline. There's Johnston. Johnston 2v2. Takes it. Deflected by the keeper. And Lizzie Coriel working hard here in the second half to flex that. It'll set up a corner. Like both the Westview keepers, they had to work hard. Lusby in the first half and Coriel here. They're both very worthy. So I think a lot to build on for Westview. There's 4 seniors on this team. Sarah Jensen's out with an ACL. And here comes the corner from the far side. They send it in short. Mackenzie Ware can't handle it. Taken away for Westview, and it's a sprint forward. The forward player now for Westview is Matt Kearney. And can't get it to her, though. As you can see, the sun has now set, so all that brightness off the field for the final few minutes. We're down inside of 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Westview will be 0-1. Skyline will be 2-0-1. If you go by traditional American standings. Westview trying to clear it forward. And now a late whistle, and there is going to be a foul on that with 8 minutes left. Do nothing Skyline at the Washington, Oregon Girls Soccer Showcase. Of course, if you're watching us live on Friday night, this would be a great place to be Saturday. Games all afternoon. 3 more games tomorrow featuring Bellarmine, Tualatin, Westview, Skyline, and Issaquah. Never chance for Skyline. 2 attackers on either side of the defender. And Fisk just screens them off. Riley Fisk just does what needs to be done. I like her economy of motion on defense. She doesn't try to do anything fancy, and she makes the right decision. Another push forward, this time on the run for Skyline. That's Amanda Johnston. Somehow keep it alive. Johnston still on the ball. Johnston being bumped by Reed. Johnston doubles back, 2 defenders. Someone's there trailing. That's Elder. Elder will send it in. And a little shanker goes wide to the right. 7 minutes left in the match. On the lights are on at Gary Moore Stadium as we dip into the evening here in September. Never late sub coming for Skyline. Mackenzie Ware comes off, and it looks like Porter has come back on. Again, Porter, tremendous start from the back that set up the second goal. Johnston the 50th on an own goal. Brancham 74th. That's how we've gotten to 2-0. And we're 6 minutes left. Of course, the WIAA Network, Play on Sports, your home for the best in high school sports action. It's Friday night football all around the country and a little Friday night soccer as well in the Pacific Northwest. little taste of what you'll see in the OSAA and WIAA playoffs. And we have more soccer and volleyball action coming from this KingCo conference on the WIAA network. Check your listings for upcoming events. If you look at our front page at WIANetwork.com and look at the sport, you'll see what events are coming up. But we have more regular season volleyball and soccer coming your way out of the KingCo. KingCo's not just for football, as many of you well know. Through ball all the way to Coryell. And particularly for soccer, getting to watch the bracket last year and these great programs, Liberty and Issaquah, Skyline. Ball's knocked about, now into touch. And we're in the 76th minute now. Skyline in control and looking for victory. Westview off to a good start. I think found a few combinations. Would like to find more consistency. Dangerous ball in the air. Keeper drops it and collides with the attacker. That was Matt Kearney in her face. I don't think the hitting the deck was intentional, but Kearney did get right in the face of the keeper, and so we blow the whistle and come back the other way. Good ball forward for the quick stir. Here's Izzy Marshall. Marshall beat the defender. Marshall with room. Sends it short. And stepping right into it, defending. Guess who? It's Fisk. I think Fisk has to get a little star for defense tonight. Ball still in play. Sent back to the right side by Elder. Johnston tracks it down. Still in play, but can't control it. Knocked out of harm's way by Neiman. Into touch, and yet another Skyline throw-in. So the second half, all played here. Skyline. And we go from 0-0 at the half to 2-0, and now another sub, and Skyline will bring Bofto back in. So we mentioned all 19 players played. The only exception being Gabby Adamson, who's going to see some action. Just you can only play so many. Skyline actually had a substitution rotation plan to get combinations out there. Now some late subs for Westview. Here's Richardson coming back in. Richardson replaces Olivia Brown. And it looks like Carson's going to come back in a minute. In these final few minutes, we're down inside the 3-minute mark. Here's Richardson trying to start something out of the back. But Skyline keeps it in. Little chip forward. Litka in the box. Keeper's out. Chasing after it. Johnston knocks it over the line. Goal kick. Ball still in the middle. Skyline still relentless, trying to get things started. We're inside 2 minutes, so the official now keeps the final 2 minutes on the field. Skyline looking to wrap it up to go 2-0-1 on the year. They'll have won 2-1, drew 2-2, winning 2-0. And coming up, scheduled for 7:30 Pacific, if you're watching us live on Friday, September 7th, Issaquah playing Tualatin. Bodies falling in the midfield, more out of fatigue than anything. Now there's a little poke, and we can't have that, as Wallace kicks the players down. And again, that's just tired players right now. And we're down to the final minute. Maybe one last push forward. Richardson's pretty good at starting things. We going to make a sub, or Now Izzy Marshall trying to bounce around and distract Richardson. The ball is volleyed about, and that should set up a corner kick. Let's see if we get this off before time runs out. I would guess our official will let them take this, and then that'll be the end of the match. Get in position. They send it short to Richardson, high in the box. Knocked away, and this should be it now as Skyline clears the ball. We'll watch for the official. Throw-in still coming. So we're just seconds away from this match being final. Throw-in coming for Westview. Skyline clears it. Ball's knocked in and grabbed by the keeper. And it's really just formalities now as the ball's going to be cleared away. Final seconds ticking off. Here comes Westview forward again, but it'll be tracked down by Skyline. Sims. Ball's back in the midfield, and that's it. Westview, one last chance, but Skyline with a dominant second half takes this match 2-0. An own goal credited to Johnston in the 50th minute, and Branch, brilliant ball in the 74th minute, makes it 2-0 the final. Skyline now 2 victories and a draw in the season. Westview is 0-1. Coming up, if you're watching live on Friday night, September 7th, 7:30, we'll have Issaquah and Tualatin for you. This is Bob Akamian saying so long for now from Moore Field in Issaquah, Washington. You've been watching WIAA, OSAA, girls soccer on Play On Sports. So long for now from Issaquah.